I told myself that I would never make a video like this, but here it is. Now, I think the reason I don't want to make a video like this because I think all of the gear that I use is very beginner friendly. It's not really high tech. It's not fancy. It's not very cinematic, and it's very budget friendly. The best thing too is that all of my gear fits in this little bag. The camera I'm using to film right now is the same camera I've been using for about 6 years now, and I got it because it was affordable and I didn't have a lot of money and I wanted to shoot weddings. But I've used the same gear from client work to now making YouTube videos and making my frames very cinematic. So today I'm just gonna break down everything I use to make my videos, starting with the lenses. So the lens you're seeing right now is filmed on a Tamron 24-70. Now, most filmmakers use the G Master 24-70, which is essentially the same thing as this. Now, I think something that's important when I say budget friendly, it's all relative to the niche that we're in, and the fact that we're in filmmaking, it means that, yeah, gear is still going to be expensive, but the stuff that I use is on the lower end of the spectrum when it comes to price. So I have the Tamron 24-70 and I saved like $600-700 getting that instead of the Sony G Master, and you can't even tell. Now, on top of that, I also have a wide lens, which is an autofocus 20 with a 2.8 aperture, and this is by Viltrox, which I think is like $150. Now, on top of that, one of the most important things to making your shots look beautiful is shallow depth of field while not overexposing. And the way that I do that is by using ND filters. Now, there are very expensive ND filters and there are very affordable ND filters. To this day, I don't really know the difference between a $180 ND filter and a $30 to $40 ND filter. I have the KF Concept Nano B series variable ND filters on all of my lenses. Now, essentially, ND filters just work like sunglasses that you can make the frame look darker. I can just show you right now. So it's just a filter over top of your camera, and essentially you just make it darker without changing your aperture. Now, this is very important to use when you are filming outside, because without it, it will look very bright, it will be overexposed, and you won't be able to get that cinematic, shallow depth of field that most people want. When it comes to editing, I edit all of my footage in Premiere Pro, and then I export it through an XML into DaVinci, and that's where I color grade. All of my footage is color graded with my one-click color grade. It genuinely takes my footage, I apply it, and it color grades it with just one click. It looks very cinematic, it looks very beautiful. You can check it out, it's linked in the description below. So a lot of people are very curious about what camera I use, and let me just tell you, I do not use the Sony FX3, I don't use the Sony FX30, I don't use any cinema camera. In fact, I use a Sony a7S III. Now, I've done all the research, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but there's no difference in the video between the Sony FX3 and the Sony a7S III. Now, the FX3 is built a little bit differently, doesn't have a viewfinder, where my Sony a7S III actually does have a viewfinder. So I actually bought this camera to take photos like 5 or 6 years ago, and I used it purely as a photo camera. Now, I got really lucky because when I got it, it was like $2,000 cheaper than the FX3. Now, I think a lot more people are realizing that the Sony a7S III produces the same sort of quality that the FX3 does. So now more people are getting it, and it might be jacking the price up a little bit. Now, I actually just bought my first camera in 5 years, or my first new camera in 5 years, and that is the ZVE10 Model 2. Now, the reason I got this is because of how small it is. My hand is literally bigger than it. It'll be able to fit in my pocket. And the reason I got this is because I can shoot in Sony S-Log, I can shoot in a log profile, and I can just kind of carry it around and film while I'm moving. So yeah, I'm excited for this because it'll be a lot more run and gun. All the lenses that work for my Sony a7S III work for this guy. So yeah, I'm kind of not going to upgrade any of my lenses or anything. I just pretty much got a smaller body so that I can use it in more run-to-gun situations. My camera settings are pretty simple. I shoot in 24 frames per second for most of my shots. I film in Sony S-Log 3, picture profile 8. I just overexpose by 0.7 or 1.5, anywhere between that range. For lighting, I have the Zion Okay, I just double checked my lighting. So I just have one softbox. It is the Zion Molus G300. They sent it to me, so I don't actually know if it's super affordable or not. But yeah, I just use one softbox, one light for pretty much all of my scenes. The way that I use it is I don't really blast it. I try to get as close as possible so that the light is very soft, and I only really use it between power 1 and like 10. So when I am filmmaking outside and I want to get like the ambience and the natural sound, I do use the Comica VM30. So it's a shotgun mic. I just put it on top of my camera like so, and I just kind of let it run. I don't really use any gain, so it's usually set to about 1 or 2, just so it sounds very natural and it doesn't peak the audio. So yeah, that's the gear that I use. So in summary, I shoot with a Sony a7S III. I use the Tamron 24-70. I use the Comica mic. I have a few extra lenses, the Viltrox 20/2.8, which I got for like $150. I have a MacBook Pro. I edit in Premiere Pro. I use DaVinci to color grade with my one-click color grade. And other than that, that is pretty much it. So hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully that was informative. And now you can stop asking me what camera I use.